You wake up tired. You scroll. You eat. You breathe. But you're not alive. You're drifting through life, like a ghost in your own story. No mission, no fire, no throne. You say you want to lead others, build an empire, become a man worth following. But here's the truth. You can't even lead yourself. Not out of bed, not away from comfort, not through your own shadows. Because deep down, there's no king within, just a boy pretending to be strong. And she saw it. They all did. That's why you keep losing. That's why they don't follow you. Not because you're weak, but because you forgot how to fight. You forgot how to reign. This world, it doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't pause because you feel lost. And no one's coming to save you. Not your friends. Not your parents. Not the woman you're still hoping will text you back. There's a brutal truth most men spend their whole lives avoiding. Leadership begins in silence. It begins when you're alone, in the mirror, at 2 a.m., with no distractions left to blame. That's where kings are born, not on thrones, but in darkness, in the battlefield of discipline, in the cold repetition of actions no one claps for, in the moments no one sees. You think a crown will make you a king? You think having more money, more status, more attention will finally make people respect you? It won't. Because what they feel is what you radiate. Masculine energy isn't a mask, it's not a posture, it's not about being louder, stronger, more aggressive. It's about presence, depth, command. And that starts with self. You want her to stay. You want them to trust you. You want to walk into a room and feel like a man who matters. But that won't happen until you can lead the only person that truly belongs to you, yourself. You want to talk about alpha mindset? It starts with what you do when no one's watching. Self-improvement isn't a trend, it's war. Every day, against comfort, against distraction, against the part of you that wants to stay a child. Why can't you lead yourself? Because there's no king within. There's no inner law, no standard, just habits, reactions, excuses dressed as reasons. You're not leading, you're following. The path of least resistance. When was the last time you said no to yourself and meant it? No to the snooze button. No to junk dopamine. No to the girl who doesn't respect you. The truth? You were never taught to rule yourself. You were taught to obey, to fit in, to be agreeable, to seek validation instead of vision. They never taught you about masculine energy, about silence, structure, about the pain that forges discipline. So, you chase what feels good instead of what makes you good. And over time, your throne gathers dust. Self-leadership is not about control. It's about alignment. It's about building an inner kingdom that doesn't collapse under pressure. It's about becoming the kind of man you would follow. Why she left? Because she sensed the chaos inside you. She felt the absence of structure, of certainty, of vision. She didn't leave because she stopped loving you. She left because you stopped leading. Because a woman doesn't want to be your therapist. She wants to feel your presence, your direction, your power. This is about reclaiming your throne. This is about rising from within, not to control others, but to command yourself. You sit alone in the dark, and the silence screams. No distractions, no noise, just the raw truth. You are your own worst enemy. Every hesitation, every moment you chose comfort over growth, it carved cracks in your foundation. You wanted to be a man, but the boy inside never left. He hides behind screens, lies to himself, convinces himself that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow never comes. Rejection doesn't break you. It reveals who you really are. Heartbreak isn't an end, it's a mirror. And what you see reflected back is the absence of leadership inside. Masculine energy is not aggression. It's a quiet storm. It's the calm before the battle and the fire after the fight. It's the ability to stand when the world pushes you down. Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and told the truth, not the story you want to believe? The truth, because no king ever sat on a throne built by lies. Every empire, every kingdom, starts with an uncompromising inner order, the kind that demands sacrifice, not from others, but from yourself. You will lose friends. You will lose lovers. Because rising requires shedding the weight of expectations, including your own. Self-control is the silent war you fight every day. Saying no to temptation. Saying yes to pain. Saying yes to growth. No one will celebrate your 5 a.m. wake-up. No one will applaud your refusal to numb the pain with distractions. But in that struggle, your kingdom grows stronger. You rebuild piece by piece, your purpose, your values, your identity. This is the alpha mindset, not arrogance or dominance, but mastery over self. And when you conquer yourself, you stop being lost. You start to lead. There's a shadow inside every man, a part that fears failure, that doubts worth, that whispers, "You're not enough." Most men run from it. They chase validation, numbing, distractions, anything to silence that voice. But the true king, he faces the shadow head on. Growth lives in discomfort, in rejection, in solitude. The boy hides in the noise. The man thrives in the silence. Solitude is not loneliness. It's the throne room of your soul, where you confront the darkness and light within. Purpose doesn't come from others. It's forged in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Ambition isn't about more money or status. It's the hunger to be better than yesterday, to sharpen your edge, to build a life that demands respect, starting with your own. You cannot outsource leadership, not to a coach, not to a book, not to a moment of motivation. Leadership is action, discipline, consistency. You wake up when the fire is low. You keep moving when your body screams stop. You honor your word to yourself. That's the masculine energy women feel. That's the presence that commands rooms. That's why they follow. You want to be the man who leads others? Lead yourself first. The silence is brutal. The fight is lonely. But on the other side, there's a throne waiting. You are not your excuses. You are not your past. You are the king you decide to become. You remember the nights you begged for change and got silence. You remember looking in her eyes and seeing disappointment. You remember every not good enough, every failure, every time you settled for less. Shame is heavy, but it's not the end. Fear of being forgotten, that sting never fades. You're tired of being invisible, tired of watching others take your place. You're afraid you'll never be the man you promised yourself. But here's the brutal truth. No one is coming. No one will save you. You have to rise or fall forever. One day you'll wake up and realize no one's following you. No woman trusts your word. No man respects your actions. And the world, it doesn't even notice you're alive. That's the cost of never rising. That's the cost of never finding the king within. But here's the part they never told you. That king isn't some perfect version of you far off in the future. He's already there, buried, sleeping, waiting for you to stop running, waiting for you to choose pain over comfort, purpose over pleasure, discipline over dopamine. Every day you delay is another brick in the tomb you're building around your potential. Every time you betray your own word, you hand over your crown to someone else. She didn't need you to be perfect. She needed to feel your direction, your stillness, your fire, and you lost her. Not because you were broken, but because you refuse to lead yourself out of it. Look around, the world is chaos, noise, distraction, weakness celebrated, leadership mocked. But in that storm, a real man is a lighthouse. Still, strong, unshakable. That's your calling. Not to control others, but to rule yourself. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about remembering who you were before the world softened you, before rejection made you small, before heartbreak made you bitter, before comfort made you weak. This is the return to purpose, to fire, to kingdom. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You need war, a war inside you, against every version of yourself that chose ease. Every moment you bowed instead of stood. Every time you forgot, you are the throne. You are the fire. You are the king. If this woke something inside you, don't scroll. Write. Bleed into the comments. Say the thing you've been afraid to admit. Because maybe, just maybe, you'll find another man in the dark, fighting the same war, reclaiming his crown.